That cut out. I'm gonna finish this message real quick with the channeled message. So ultimately, with the whole religious thing in your person, and I'm seeing the word family member, I'm seeing the word occult, a coven, basically a people that band together to basically bully your person secretly and covertly to convince them from a, as I said, like I'm being shown the air quotes in a vision, like grounded belief system that your person grew up under. You know how, if you grew up in a religious household and you grew up under certain types of, I'm seeing coven rules, okay? So Spirit's calling this out for what it is, okay? It is a group of folks that are stuck to one religious belief system and believe that if anyone lives outside this specific belief system, they think that they're a lost soul and in need of help, and a saving from God outside of them, or a soul to be saved. And for others, they may see them as just not mentally stable, or maybe someone that's just not mentally all there. They will begin to decipher another person that way in the eyes of your person. 1, 2, 3, I'm still seeing the word family, to convince your person that you're not mentally all there because you practice a different spiritual belief system. And this collective practices the belief system of believing the God from within, and universal forces around them that work with them, ancestral connection, ancestral lineage, spirit guides, angels, all those connections that we channel, that we intuitively are connected to. Believe it or not, collective, your person and these, I'm seeing the word stupid folks. People that are basically stuck in a bubble. They don't understand what a world is outside of their belief systems because of how ingrained and brainwashed they've made themselves into believing that they can't allow another person to believe that it's okay to exist outside their bubble, 222, unless they justify it as them being a lost soul or mentally unstable, and that's the only way they can leave that person alone because they can't fathom otherwise a world outside of that. 234, that is how obsessed I'm seeing and brainwashed these people are to themselves mentally, that anyone that steps outside of that belief system, they will view them as a lost soul. I'm seeing unfortunate. Back to the point. Spirit, where were you taking me with this? Your person is going to have to learn the difference between deciphering a soul calling and a coven trying to collect another soul. I'm seeing to do its bidding. I'm seeing to round up more souls to praise an external God, a religious belief. 321. Instead of encouraging souls to live beyond the rules of a religious cult, a religious system, a religious belief. That's, hang on. The other thing, Spirit wanted to mention 3, 4, 5. This is happening with your person because collective, I'm seeing if you are feminine, the divine feminine is activating. The divine feminine, the one that is meant to, I'm seeing, portray, show, and share knowledge from the unseen, is activating, rising. She is rising. She is awakening. So your person right now is going through their own, I'm seeing dark night of the soul awakening, where they have to distinguish between, I'm seeing patriarchy and anarchy. Hang on. I'm gonna look those up in a minute, but I'm gonna finish the channel because that's what I'm feeling drawn to do right now. Ultimately, 444, your person needs to recognize the divine feminine is awakening and not fall for familial cult practices that restrict the masculine from activating and seeing the divine feminine for who she is. Because right now there's something occurring where I'm seeing there's bondage mentally being created from your person being worried about their image with these folks because they're familial family members. And there's some weird inclination that they're concerned for their well-being if they remain around this collective because of how brainwashed these cult leaders, I'm seeing cult leaders, these religious believers are about what they truly believe is meant to be versus allowing a soul to exist in their own belief system. 555. I'm seeing these males are afraid of the divine feminine rise. And for women who are operating in this energy of an occult as well, I'm seeing male-dominated energy. They're still operating from a dormant divine masculine energy waiting to be unlocked. So this feels like there's some sort of initiation and awakening that is, I'm seeing in the process of happening with a masculine, a divine masculine that, oh, and that's why Spirit wanted me to mention the rise of the divine feminine is, okay. So, feminine energies that walk in their feminine energies, that are operating from their intuitive psychic gifts, that are operating from their spiritual gifts, that are understanding their gifts, that are choosing to be more open about their gifts, that are choosing to be more openly public about them and use them as they're guided to be using them, okay? People are trying to use their religious belief systems to get your person to believe that they should be concerned for their well-being and concerned for your mental health because you're choosing a life path outside of what they're familiar to religiously, because they believe something must be wrong with you. Because you're operating in your divine feminine, you're not following, I'm seeing patriarchy and something about anarchy. Yeah, I'm gonna look those up probably a little later. That's it. But yeah. Okay, so the other thing actually was I'm seeing the channel as well. This is on a spiritual level, people attempting to get, I'm seeing a masculine from standing by their divine feminine through trying to bully them with their own religious belief systems just because they share a family tie. And this masculine, I'm seeing, has to close out a cycle about not caring how people view them. I'm seeing the word him, how people view him when he stands by his divine feminine that is choosing to stand in her own authenticity and her own audacity to be who she is without someone else's validation or permission, and without trying to compete with other religious practices because she's choosing to follow her own soul path. Regardless, 9/11 was just on the timer. Regardless what other religious preachers, speakers may say about her endeavors or choices, the masculine has to make a choice to stand by his divine feminine. I'm seeing, or else there's a massive cycle of an ego death waiting for him, along with his awakening to the truth of the divine feminine's position and right to her own personal authority, of her own spiritual belief systems she chooses to walk within, because it's coming from within, not outside of her.